covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, a local casino shuts down after less than a year. We dig into why, plus.
But I do want to emphasize a key theme here, and that's continuous improvement.
The CPUC is keeping a closer eye on our state's largest utility providers, but can they be trusted to self-inspect? We have the details new at 6. Also new at 6, we speak with a campfire survivor experiencing loss all over again. But first, more breaking news. We're tracking a fire in the Forbes-town area. Take a look. This is a 30-minute time lapse of that fire. You can see the smoke, and then the flames just really start to spread. This is just since 5:30 when we first noticed it. Now, we do have calls out to first responders, and we are going to keep you posted as we work to learn exactly where this fire is happening and if anybody's at risk.
Yeah.
And the fires in Southern California, of course, when we're talking wildfires, that's front and center of everybody's thoughts. And it can be an emotional thing for a lot of people, especially one woman living in Paradise. The Palisades fire hits closer to home for her because, well, it used to be her home.
She used to live there, yeah. Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe spoke with her about it. So, Margot, what did she share?
Alan, campfire survivor Janie Johnston told me that she is heartbroken for her community in Palisades, and despite recently establishing roots in Paradise, she feels homesick. Now, she moved to Paradise just a mere 5 months before the campfire happened. She lived in the Palisades from 2008 to 2014, but due to rising cost, ended up moving away, eventually making her way to Paradise, where she lost her home in the campfire. And she tells me she would have stayed down south if she could have.
What I say, the fire found me anyway. Now, it would have found me there, or it would have, found me here. There's no going back, because I can't afford to live there anywhere that I would want to live, and it's hard. I feel sort of displaced, but I love Paradise. I'm not complaining. I mean, we are really, really lucky.
Johnston previously connected with the homeowner who took over her Palisades home years ago and is working on reconnecting with him again, as she is planning to go down to SoCal and help in any way she can once it's safe to do so. Reporting live in Paradise, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
Thank you, Margot, and we will hear more of Johnson's story tonight on Action News Now at 11.
We are investigating your concerns about a water outage at the Butte County Jail today. The sheriff's office told me that they had a maintenance issue with the water valve, but crews were able to replace it and restore that water by 3:30 this afternoon. Aside from just about 40 minutes of an outage, water was still running in the jail for most of the day, but the pressure was low. As winds die down in Southern California, recovery efforts are underway. Search and rescue and damage assessment teams are surveying 60 square miles of charred land as 31 people remain missing. The sheriff's office says 7 cases are related to the Palisades fire, 24 from the Eaton fire. And we know that the fires have killed at least 27 people. Curfews are still in effect for both fire zones from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Mostly mild, though, in our part of the state, and time-lapse video from Alert California's camera over Shasta County today shows that sun just moving down in the sky on this pretty mild Friday.
And the weekend is here. Now, sometimes you like to point out the golfing forecast, but you're going to want to wait at least till mid-morning, I suppose, before you try.
No, I agree. I mean, the 30s, that's
it's cold.
I can't play anything in 30-degree weather. I mean, maybe football, all bundled up, but who's going to bundle up to that level to play golf or a baseball game? So, yeah, you might want to wait till, keep your tee time a little late, maybe tee off at noon when the temperatures are more comfortable. But right now, here we are after the 6 o'clock hour. Temperatures still in the 50s for the most part in the valley. Some spots in the 30s in the mountains, other locations in the 40s. Now, we kept talking about, one of our big, we've been sunny, we've been dry, we've been warm. It's been the winds that really have been the changing weather dynamic. And we were breezy early in the week, but since then, winds have really calmed down on that lighter side. Again, contributing to our cooler mornings because that heat's able to escape into the atmosphere. But with some of the movement, with the high pressure and some surrounding storms, we're going to see an uptick in those winds, and we're going to talk more about that in by full weather coming up very soon.
Thanks, Howie.
At least 64 employees of the Mistreated Casino off of Highway 70 in Butte County will have to look for new jobs by the end of this month. We're following the breaking news of the casino closure coming less than a year after it opened. Action News Now reporter Alejandro Mejia is out there live. Alejandro, are people upset, of course, to see this casino go?
Yeah, Haley, I spoke to several people going into the casino and they told me that they are surprised, but they also feel for the 64 employees working here that will be out of a job because of the closure. The Mistreated Indian Tribe says the last day of operations will be Friday, January 31st. The tribe says that the Mistreated Economic Gaming Authority Board reached the decision to suspend operations due to what it's called challenges in operations. The tribe says it took exhaustive efforts to address those challenges. Tribal Chairman Dennis Ramirez said in part that the project has been a cornerstone of their economic development goals for more than 25 years and promises that the tribe will continue to work toward its future reopening. The tribe says that although they don't have a specific timeline for the reopening, the board and the tribe are planning for the future. Reporting in Butte County, I'm Alejandro Mejia for Action News Now.
All right, thanks, Alejandro. The casino opened February of last year, so 28 days short of being open for 1 full year.
The city of Red Bluff has a new police chief. This is Quentin Ortega there on the left. He's been on the force for the past 28 years. And was promoted to police chief from captain. Chief Kyle Sanders there on the right has also worked with the department for 28 years. He's retiring. Ortega's first official day as chief was yesterday. The department also celebrated 2 other promotions. Ruben Murguia on the left there has been promoted to captain. Michael Brown on the right to lieutenant.
The problem has not just been isolated to California. It's gone beyond across the United States, and it's affecting everyone.
Well, that's Siskiyou County Sheriff Jeremiah LaRue, who spent his week at the U.S. Capitol calling for more legislation against the illegal marijuana industry. Sheriff LaRue says illegal pesticides used in the industry pose a public health danger through environmental damage, animal abuse, and human rights issues. The sheriff says right now is the perfect opportunity to raise awareness at the national level as the new administration sets its priorities for 2025.
A Yuba County man is asking the community for help after he says dozens of dogs are being mistreated by their owners in Rackerby. We told you 5 months ago when those same dogs allegedly attacked one of Jason Steele's dogs, leaving him with an expensive vet bill. For the past 2 years, he says he's called the Yuba County Sheriff's Office 24 times, expressing his concern about dozens of dogs either chained or caged on his neighbor's property.
It's freezing every night out here. The dogs are constantly crying. They're kennel crazy. It's unbelievable what's going on over there.
The Yuba County Sheriff's Office says it encourages neighbors to resolve their issues in civil matters, as law enforcement may have limited ability to act. Steele's neighbor drove by during our interview today, but did not stop, and our reporter said he couldn't knock on the door because that property was gated off with no trespassing signs, with multiple dogs loose in the front yard.
Reading police say they found 24 grams of fentanyl and nearly 40 grams of meth hidden in a registered sex offender's pants. Police say they pulled over and searched the car of Stanley Williams on Lake Boulevard yesterday. Police say they found a sock filled with drugs hidden in his pants, as well as evidence of drug trafficking. Officers say Williams' criminal history spans over 22 years. Since he is a registered sex offender, any drug possession charges are considered felonies. New details now. We just learned that guardrail work is pushing back the full reopening of Bruce Road in Chico. We told you earlier this week that the city expected to reopen the section today. The part of the road south of East 20th Street did reopen back on December 10th. Action News Now spoke with the project manager, and he says they hope to reopen the new bridge and the intersection of Bruce Road at Highway 32 by the middle of next week.
New at 6, the California Public Utilities Commission signed off on a new law requiring PG&E to implement a safety culture assessment framework. So what does that mean? Well, the framework includes 2 parts. A comprehensive assessment of the utility safety culture conducted once every 4 years, and a yearly self-evaluation to monitor improvement between the 4-year assessment. A third-party evaluator will carry out the comprehensive assessment, but the self-evaluations, of course, by the nature of the name, will be done by the utility.
So there are multiple components of this process: the comprehensive assessments, the annual self-evaluations, the utility safety culture working group. All of these things will collectively promote better information sharing and improve safety practices, and then really promote a systematic approach to safety culture improvement.
The new requirements are not just for PG&E, but for all of the state's large investor-owned utilities like San Diego Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, and Southern California Gas. This decision also requires companies to establish a safety culture working group responsible for developing focus areas for self-evaluation and to foster trust and collaboration in the workplace. Just 2 days left for TikTok to save itself from a nationwide ban. New at 6, we hear what our local congressman thinks of the move.
Plus,
I really want people to come out and celebrate Dr. King's dream as it lives on.
we'll share with you ways that you can spend Martin Luther King Jr. Day next.